I was standing in the middle of my engagement party when my sister walked up to the microphone and said, "I need to tell everyone the truth about my sister before this goes any further." The room went silent. My fiancé grabbed my hand, and I watched as my sister pulled out her phone, ready to show everyone proof that I was a liar and a fraud. What she didn't know was that I had spent the last 3 weeks uncovering her scheme. And in about 2 minutes, everyone at that party was going to find out exactly who the real liar was. My name is Natalie Brooks. I'm 31 years old, and my younger sister, Amber, has been competing with me since the day she was born. Growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, I was the responsible older sister. I got good grades, stayed out of trouble, helped around the house. I wasn't the popular kid or the rebellious one. I was just steady. Amber was the opposite. She was wild, impulsive, dramatic. She'd throw tantrums to get attention. She'd lie to get out of consequences. She'd manipulate situations to make herself the victim. And it worked. My parents, especially my mom, constantly made excuses for her. Amber's just sensitive. Amber's going through a phase. Amber needs more support than you do, Natalie. You're the strong one. I grew up believing that my job was to be invisible so Amber could shine. When I was 23, I started dating someone seriously for the first time. His name was Tyler. He was sweet, thoughtful, and we were happy together for about a year. Then Amber, who was 19 at the time, decided she wanted him. She started showing up wherever we went. She'd flirt with him. She'd text him constantly. She'd create drama between us by telling him I'd said things I hadn't. Eventually, Tyler broke up with me. He said I was too controlling and didn't trust him. 2 weeks later, he and Amber were together. My parents told me to be mature about it. Tyler and Amber's relationship lasted 3 months before he realized what she was really like. But by then, I'd moved on. Or so I thought. That pattern continued for years. Every time I had something good in my life, a job opportunity, a new relationship, a personal achievement, Amber would find a way to sabotage it or steal the spotlight. When I got promoted at work, Amber announced her engagement the same week. When I bought my first house, Amber had a medical emergency that required all of my parents' attention and financial help. Every single milestone I hit, she found a way to overshadow. And I let it happen. Because I didn't know how to fight back without looking like the bitter older sister. 2 years ago, I met David. David Chin was everything I'd ever wanted. He was kind, ambitious, emotionally intelligent, and he actually saw me. He listened when I talked. He celebrated my successes. He supported my goals. We dated for a year before he proposed. It was perfect. A sunset proposal at the beach. A beautiful ring. The whole thing. I was so happy I cried for an hour. And then I had to tell my family. I invited my parents and Amber to dinner at my house to share the news. David and I cooked together. We set the table. We opened a nice bottle of wine. When everyone arrived, I waited until after dinner to make the announcement. "David and I have some news," I said, smiling. "We're engaged." I held up my hand to show the ring. My dad smiled and congratulated us. My mom hugged me and said she was happy for me. But Amber just stared. Her face went cold. Hard. "Wow," she said flatly. "That's unexpected." "Unexpected?" I said, confused. "I just mean, you haven't been together that long," Amber said. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" David squeezed my hand under the table. "We're very sure," he said politely. Amber smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Well, congratulations. I hope it works out." The rest of the evening was tense. Amber barely spoke. She left early, claiming she had a headache. I should have known then that something was wrong. Over the next 6 months, Amber became increasingly hostile. She'd make little comments whenever we saw each other. "Are you sure David's the one? You don't want to settle. Marriage is so permanent. What if you regret it? I heard David's job isn't that stable. Are you worried about finances?" Every comment was designed to plant doubt. But David and I were solid. We ignored her. We started planning the wedding. Set a date for the following spring. Booked a venue. Hired vendors. And then, 2 months before the wedding, David and I decided to throw an engagement party. Nothing huge. Just close friends and family. 50 people at a nice restaurant with a private room. We sent out invitations. And that's when everything went wrong. 3 weeks before the engagement party, Amber called me. "Hey, Nat," she said, her voice sweet. "Can we talk?" "Sure," I said. "What's up?" "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how I've been acting about your engagement. I was jealous. But I'm over it now. I'm really happy for you." I was surprised. And skeptical. "Really?" "Really," she said. "I want to help with the engagement party. Let me contribute. Please. I want to make things right." I hesitated. Every instinct told me not to trust her. But she sounded genuine. And I wanted to believe my sister could change. "Okay," I said. "That would be nice." "Great," she said. "Let me handle the party favors and decorations. I have some ideas that I think you'll love." Over the next 2 weeks, Amber was involved in the party planning. She seemed enthusiastic. Helpful, even. She sent me photos of decoration ideas. She coordinated with the venue. She assured me everything was under control. I started to relax. Maybe she really had changed. But then, 1 week before the party, something happened that changed everything. I was at work when I got a strange phone call from the venue coordinator. "Hi, Natalie," she said. "I just wanted to confirm the cancellation for next Saturday." My stomach dropped. "Cancellation? What cancellation?" "Your sister called this morning and said you needed to cancel the engagement party. She said there was a family emergency." "What?" I said, my heart pounding. "No. Don't cancel anything. There's no emergency." "Oh," the coordinator said, sounding confused. She was very insistent. "She said she was authorized to make changes on your behalf." "She's not," I said firmly. "The party is still happening. Please don't make any changes unless you hear from me directly." "Understood," she said. "I'm so sorry for the confusion." I hung up and immediately called Amber. She didn't answer. I called again. And again. Finally, she picked up. "Hey, what's up?" she said casually. "Did you try to cancel my engagement party?" I said, my voice shaking. There was a pause. "What?" "No. Why would I do that? The venue just called me. They said you told them to cancel because of a family emergency." "That's crazy," Amber said. "I didn't call them. They must have me confused with someone else." "They specifically said it was my sister," I said. "Well, it wasn't me," she said, her voice hard now. "Maybe you should check with the venue before you start accusing people." She hung up. I sat at my desk, shaking with anger. I knew it was her. I knew she was lying. But I didn't have proof. I called David and told him what happened. "That's insane," he said. "Why would she do that?" "Because she's Amber," I said bitterly. "She can't stand to see me happy." "What do you want to do?" David asked. "I don't know," I said. "But I'm not letting her ruin this." That night, I decided to do some digging. I called the venue coordinator back and asked if she could send me the phone number that had called to cancel. She hesitated. "I'm not supposed to share customer information." "Please," I said. "This is really important. Someone's trying to sabotage my event." She sighed. "Okay, let me see what I can do." 10 minutes later, she emailed me a phone number. I didn't recognize it. It wasn't Amber's number. But I called it anyway. It rang twice, then went to a generic voicemail. No name. No message. I tried searching the number online. Nothing came up. But then I had an idea. I called my mom. "Hey, Mom," I said. "Quick question. Does Amber have a second phone number?" "A second number?" my mom said. "Not that I know of." "Why?" "Just wondering," I said. "Has she mentioned getting a new phone recently?" "Actually, yes," my mom said. "She said her old one broke, and she got a cheap replacement while she waited for insurance." "Why are you asking?" My blood ran cold. "No reason," I said quickly. Thanks, Mom. I hung up and stared at the number on my screen. It was her. I knew it was her. Over the next few days, I started paying closer attention to everything Amber did. I checked the vendor emails. I reviewed the party plans. I looked for anything suspicious. And I found something. Amber had been corresponding with several of our vendors using my email address, but it wasn't actually my email. It was a fake account, nataliebrooks.events@gmail.com. My actual email was natalie.brooks.official@gmail.com. She'd created a nearly identical address and had been sending emails to vendors pretending to be me. I pulled up the emails. She'd tried to cancel the photographer. She'd tried to change the catering order to something completely different. She'd tried to push back the party start time by 3 hours without telling anyone. Every single message was designed to sabotage the party in subtle ways that would cause chaos without being immediately obvious. I felt sick. My own sister was actively trying to destroy my engagement party. I forwarded all the emails to David. "This is unhinged," he said when he called me. "We need to confront her." "No," I said. "Not yet. If we confront her, she'll just deny it and make herself the victim. We need proof that she can't talk her way out of." "What are you thinking?" David asked. "I'm thinking we let her think her plan is working," I said. "And then we expose her at the party. In front of everyone." I spent the next week quietly undoing all of Amber's sabotage. I contacted every vendor directly, confirmed all the details, made sure everything was back on track. I changed all my passwords and set up two-factor authentication so she couldn't access anything else. And then I started gathering evidence. I took screenshots of every fake email. I documented the fake phone number. I saved the call logs from the venue coordinator. I compiled everything into a folder. And then I did something risky. I texted Amber from a fake number, pretending to be someone else who could help her ruin Natalie's party. I wanted to see if she'd incriminate herself. The text I sent: "Hey, heard you need help with a project involving your sister. I can assist. What's the plan?" Amber responded within minutes. "Who is this?" "A friend of a friend. Heard you were having trouble with Natalie's engagement party. I can help make it fall apart." There was a long pause. Then, "What do you want in return?" "Nothing. Just don't like seeing people get things they don't deserve." Another pause. Then Amber sent a long message. "Okay, here's the situation. My sister is getting married and everyone thinks she's so perfect. But she's not. She's always gotten everything handed to her while I've had to fight for scraps. This engagement party is just another example of her showing off. I've already tried canceling vendors, but she caught on. I need something bigger. Something that will humiliate her in front of everyone. Any ideas?" I stared at my phone, my hands shaking. She'd just admitted everything. I took screenshots and saved them to 3 different places. The day of the engagement party arrived. I was nervous. David could tell. "Are you sure you want to do this?" he asked as we got ready. "Yes," I said. "She needs to be stopped. And everyone needs to see who she really is." "Okay," he said. "I trust you." We arrived at the venue early to make sure everything was set up correctly. The room looked beautiful. String lights. Elegant table settings. A small stage with a microphone for speeches. Guests started arriving. Friends from college. Coworkers. Family members. And then Amber walked in. She was wearing a white dress. To my engagement party. A white dress. Several guests noticed and whispered to each other. Amber walked right up to me and David, smiling. "Congratulations, you too," she said sweetly. "Everything looks amazing." "Thanks," I said, my voice tight. "Nice dress." "Oh, this," she said innocently. "I thought it was appropriate for a celebration." She walked away before I could respond. David put his hand on my shoulder. "Stay calm. Stick to the plan." The party went smoothly for the first hour. People ate, drank, mingled, congratulated us. And then it was time for speeches. David's best man went first. Funny, heartfelt, perfect. My maid of honor went next. Sweet and emotional. And then, before I could take the microphone, Amber walked up to the stage. "I'd like to say a few words," she announced. My stomach dropped. She took the microphone and turned to face the crowd. "Hi, everyone," she said, her voice steady. "For those who don't know me, I'm Amber, Natalie's sister." She smiled. "I've known Natalie my whole life, obviously. And I love her. I really do." She paused for effect. "But I wouldn't be a good sister if I didn't speak up when I see her making a mistake." The room went silent. I felt David tense next to me. Amber continued. "Natalie and David have only been together for 2 years. That's not very long. And I've noticed some things that concern me." She pulled out her phone. "I have messages here from David to another woman. Flirty messages. Messages that suggest he's not as committed to this relationship as he claims to be." Gasps rippled through the crowd. David stood up. "That's not true. I'm just trying to protect my sister," Amber said, her voice breaking with fake emotion. "I don't want her to marry someone who's going to hurt her." She turned to me, tears in her eyes. "Natalie, I'm sorry. But you need to see this before it's too late." I stood up slowly and walked to the stage. The room was completely silent. Everyone was staring at me. I took the microphone from Amber's hand. "Thank you, Amber," I said calmly. "That was quite a performance." She blinked, confused. "But before we look at your so-called evidence," I said, "I think everyone here should see some evidence of my own." I pulled out my phone and connected it to the venue's screen. The first image appeared, screenshots of the fake emails Amber had sent to vendors. "These are emails my sister sent to my wedding vendors," I said, "using a fake email address that she created to impersonate me. She tried to cancel my photographer. She tried to sabotage my catering. She tried to ruin this party." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Amber's face went pale. "That's not." "Let me finish," I said firmly. The next image appeared, the phone records showing she'd called the venue to cancel. "This is proof that she called the venue using a burner phone to try to cancel this event. She lied about a family emergency to shut down my engagement party." The room erupted in whispers. Amber was shaking now. "You're twisting this." And finally, I said, pulling up the text message screenshots, "These are messages she sent to someone she thought was helping her sabotage my party. Messages where she admits she's been trying to ruin this event because she's jealous." I read one of the messages aloud. "My sister is getting married and everyone thinks she's so perfect. But she's not. She's always gotten everything handed to her while I've had to fight for scraps. I need something that will humiliate her in front of everyone." The room went dead silent. People were staring at Amber in shock and disgust. My mom stood up, her face white. "Amber, is this true?" Amber's eyes filled with real tears now. She stammered. "You just what?" I said, my voice steady. "You just wanted to destroy my happiness because you can't stand to see me succeed?" She didn't answer. "And those messages you claimed were from David?" I said. "Let's see them." Amber hesitated, then held up her phone. I took it and looked at the screen. The messages were clearly doctored. Bad Photoshop. Wrong fonts. Timestamps that made no sense. I held the phone up for everyone to see. "These are fake," I said. "She created these just like she created fake emails. Just like she's created fake drama my entire life." I handed the phone back to her. "I'm done, Amber. I'm done letting you sabotage my life. I'm done making excuses for you. I'm done protecting you from the consequences of your actions." Tears were streaming down her face now. "You've always been jealous of me," she said, her voice breaking. "Everyone's always loved you more." "That's not true," I said. "But even if it were, that doesn't give you the right to destroy my life." I turned to the crowd. "I want everyone here to know the truth. My sister has spent years sabotaging me. She stole my first serious boyfriend. She's undermined every achievement I've had. And she tried to ruin this party because she can't stand to see me happy." I looked back at Amber. "You need help, Amber. Professional help. But that's not my responsibility anymore. I turned to the security guard I'd quietly hired for the event. Please escort my sister out. Amber looked around desperately, searching for support. But everyone was staring at her with disgust or pity. Even my mom looked horrified. The security guard approached. Amber pulled away from him. "This is insane," she shouted. "You're all believing her lies. She's the manipulator, not me." But no one was listening. She was escorted out of the venue, still shouting, still crying. The door closed behind her. The room was silent for a long moment. Then David stood up and put his arm around me. "I'm sorry you all had to witness that," he said to the crowd. "But I want everyone to know Natalie is the kindest, most patient person I've ever met. The fact that she put up with that behavior for years shows her strength. And I'm honored to be marrying her." Slowly, people started clapping. The applause grew. My maid of honor hugged me. Friends came up to offer support. My dad approached, looking sad and ashamed. "I'm sorry, Natalie," he said quietly. "We should have seen what was happening. We should have protected you." My mom was crying. "I don't know what to say. I can't believe Amber would do this." "She's been doing it my whole life," I said. "You just didn't want to see it." My mom nodded, unable to speak. The party slowly resumed. People were still talking about what had happened, but the mood gradually shifted back to celebration. David and I danced. We cut the cake. We thanked everyone for coming. And for the first time in years, I felt free. Later that night, after everyone had left, David and I sat in the empty venue. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I think so," I said. "It's weird. I thought I'd feel guilty. But I just feel relieved." "You did the right thing," David said. "She would have kept doing this forever if you hadn't stopped her." "I know," I said. He kissed my forehead. "I love you," he said. "And I'm so proud of you." Amber didn't contact me after the party. For 2 months, there was complete silence. My parents tried to mediate. They wanted me to forgive and move forward. I told them I needed space from all of them. 3 months after the engagement party, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Amber. Here's what it said. "Natalie, I've spent the last 3 months in therapy. I'm starting to understand why I did what I did. Not that it excuses anything. I was jealous. I've always been jealous of you. You were smarter, more responsible, more loved. And instead of dealing with those feelings, I tried to tear you down. I know you probably won't forgive me. I wouldn't forgive me either. But I wanted you to know that I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I got caught, but because I hurt you. Over and over again. I'm not asking for a relationship. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying to be better. I hope your wedding is beautiful. I hope David treats you the way you deserve. I hope you're happy. Amber." I read the letter 3 times. Part of me wanted to throw it away. Part of me wanted to believe her. I showed it to David. "What do you think?" I asked. "I think she's starting to take responsibility," he said. "But that doesn't mean you owe her anything." "I know," I said. I put the letter in a drawer. I didn't respond. Not then. Maybe one day I would. Maybe not. But that was my choice to make. David and I got married 6 months later. It was a small ceremony. Just close friends. My parents came, but we kept them at a distance. Amber wasn't invited. And I didn't feel guilty about it. A year after the wedding, my mom called. "Amber's doing better," she said. "She's still in therapy. She's been sober for 8 months. She's working on herself." "That's good," I said. "She asks about you sometimes," my mom said carefully. "She wants to know if you're okay." "I am," I said. There was a pause. "Do you think you'll ever forgive her?" my mom asked. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Maybe. But not yet. And maybe not ever. And that has to be okay." My mom sighed. "I understand." David and I are happy. We bought a house. We have 2 dogs. We're talking about starting a family. I built a life that Amber can't touch. And that's the best revenge I could have asked for. Sometimes I think about that engagement party. about standing on that stage, about exposing her in front of everyone. Some people might say it was cruel, but I don't regret it. Because for the first time in my life, I chose myself over keeping the peace. And that decision changed everything. If someone in your life, family or otherwise, has been sabotaging you, know this: you don't owe them your silence. You don't owe them endless chances. And you don't owe them forgiveness just because they share your DNA. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to set boundaries. Even if it's painful. Even if people judge you for it. Your peace matters more than their comfort. Thanks for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, drop a comment. Hit subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you deserve people in your life who celebrate your success, not sabotage it.